I know you've been, I know you've been, I know you've been, I know you've been.
Good, how are you?
Not good. How many people we have in car?
Two.
Yeah, bro. Y'all keep this the whole week.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.
Back at Nola. Round 4. Alright, we're back at Nola Motorsports Park. It's race week. We're excited. We got 4 days ahead of us, starting with some testing. It's going to be probably a wet one. We're not really sure. Got thunderstorms. We had big delays on our flights out here. Wouldn't be a race weekend without some drama, so we got to the track and right away we're trying to figure out our pit box solution. Right now we have one car pitted at the front and the other pitted at the back. And it's a big advantage for us to be pitted at the front, and it's a big disadvantage for the other car that would have to be pitted at the back. Looks like we might have to consolidate to the back, so I'm gonna take that one on the chin and just let it be. But feeling really good after Sonoma. Not pointing any fingers, but it was really unfortunate for our cars to be down on power there due to some BOP miscalculations, let's say. BMW got us back where we need to be. We feel like we have a really competitive car coming into this weekend. We did some testing last week. We got a lot out of it. We still have something to learn, but feeling good. So take you on into the trailer here, show you what we got going on, and introduce you to some of the guys. This week we're going to be racing this G82. Zach and I will be in the one with yellow mirrors, and the teal mirrors will be Walker and Sadakal. They'll be running in the AM class. Zach and I will be in the silver class, or what they say is the pro class. Zach, if you don't know him, you might have got to know him a little bit better at Sonoma. He's a good friend of mine. We met each other at Pekla. We're now racing together, which is a dream come true for both of us. Getting to race with a friend is always fun, but getting to race with a equal counterpart is equally as rewarding. So I think we're both really enjoying that. Over here we got Sadakal and Walker, also a good friend. Getting to enjoy the car together and both a very competitive pairing. They haven't had a result yet this year, so that's our goal, is to get them up on the podium. Lots of work to be done there, but I'm feeling confident that they can get it done, and they definitely have a chance at the championship. So as you can see, our crew guys here in the background are talking, getting ready for the day. We got Charlie, he's our crew chief. He's gonna be making all the decisions on the setup for the car and calling the cars into the pit box and talking to our drivers via radio communication. We got Big Dog Ryan over there. He's one of our main techs. He keeps all of our cars running pristine and also helps Charlie to get the setups put on. We got Mike, or what you might have heard as Lamar back there. He's our wheel and tire guy, and he also helps with any errands that Charlie needs. He's a go-to guy for us, and we really rely on him for a lot, so we can't thank him enough. There's Big Guns Walker walking in for the show. Got his coffee and ready to rock. So what's gonna happen here is I'm gonna sign off, go ahead and get with Sadakal. Maybe Tino can catch some B-roll of me doing some video and data with him to get him prepared for his first session. He's never raced here with us. He has done a WRL race, so he's feeling the pressure of coming up to speed, so we're gonna do our best to help him come up to speed. All right, guys, well, check in a little bit.
Pete did the worm last night on Bourbon Street, in the middle of the street.
Yeah?
And then he did the still man shit with the still man guy. And then what else did he do? He rode the bull. He did the bull riding.
Damn, bro, going all in.
Yeah.
We were going to go do karaoke, but it was a private party. It wasn't.
What's home life looking like? Solo Della?
He's not even home.
I haven't been home. Like a soldier.
Yeah, we left Sonoma. I went to Hawaii 2 weeks. He was at shop 3 days. Went to Mid-Ohio, then Hawaii, then we got back. Went
dude, I heard
snowboarding.
about your motor situation.
Then he went snowboarding for a weekend. Then he went to Mexico for a weekend. So and now he's here. He hasn't been back.
He had to, normally Ryan and him work together, but Pete went to a race solo, and of course that race the motor let go, so he ended up doing a motor by himself on the pavement.
That's a good time.
Standing up.
Yeah. 29 degrees
See
and
how memories are made.
yeah,
It's not
legit.
memories. That's how you quit doing shit for people.
Yeah, hey, guess what? I'm good.
That's how you become a fun life. It's hard because you can also do the opposite, or you can also be like on a big green lap and you're like, yeah, and then you do something stupid because you're thinking about the lap.
Oh yeah, I've done that before.
I do that all the time.
But you know, reducing red is also like not something I did new, but something that I was actually executing the plan. But I don't know if sometimes that's not true. Sometimes it's like I tried something and it worked better.
It depends on the gain loss, but I try to do quarter seconds, right? And if you have like in a couple lights, you know you're within the range, and if it's outside, you know it was just a big mistake, right?
I think my solo is configured. It has 5 lights, and I think I have the solo configured for a 10 for each light.
Yeah, that's common.
You look so at peace.
I like the rain. It rains all day. Drivers don't like it.
I don't like it. I need that nice sun.
Yeah, it keeps the heat out of here, man. No humidity.
Yeah, I guess that's true.
Last year it was hotter than Satan's asshole out here.
This is a nice change of pace.
Yeah.
The man, the myth, the legend.
How we doing?
We're doing good. How about you?
I'm good, man.
Good.
Send it, bro.
Yes, sir. Got
Okay.
dressed real early this morning in my Halloween costume.
What time did you get here? Yesterday?
Yeah, I drove here from Dallas.
Oh, you drove.
Yeah, it was crazy weather. Crazy weather. How was y'all's flight? I mean,
Dude, I got stuck.
We got stuck in Dallas for like 3 hours?
Yeah.
3.5 hours?
so
I know
like-
it's early.
So like multiple people hydroplane off the road and caused like 3-hour parking lot fests on the highways. We got here at like 10:30 last night. Passed out. Got here at 6. Helped Adam Gleason, TC car driver, out.
Jeez.
6 a.m. only get a red flag.
What's it like out there? What did he say?
He said it was.
Normal?
I mean, this place when it's wet, it's like dry.
Okay.
You just have to avoid the water.
That's standing water at 12 apex.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I told.
Just anywhere, everywhere else. If you don't see standing water, probably feels awesome. Like abrasive everywhere.
You're thinking like engineer, like as the wheel's unweighted, it stops the wheel, right? And that's what you're seeing in data. What I'm thinking is ABS intervention on the loaded wheel, right? So as that wheel on the outside's trying to roll, it's basically getting like a notchy feeling because the ABS is trying to stop the wheel and it's trying to turn. It's exceeding what the contact patch can handle. That's what I'm seeing in the data. Is basically my front left is rolling into the corner. It's trying to turn the car. It's not trying to decel the car and turn the car at the same time, and that's why it's allowing more speed into the corner. You don't want the loaded front tire to have ABS intervention on the way to apex. Yeah. You want to give up a certain percentage of something so to allow more percentage on another category, right? Right now you're trying to do too much braking and decelerating and turning, and it's exceeding the contact patch.
Guess we gotta work on like our qualifying days. It's like we don't have the sendiness that a lot of these guys can execute with.
But I think that's why we race better too.
Well, that's the thing. Like, they can't do that shit. They got 1 or 2 laps at that crazy, like, get in your head lap time. And then once you're out there with them, it's like, oh, they're not doing it. They're doing what I'm doing. And I know you know that. And I know that if we get in the car that can do it, it's there. It's like, so, yeah, it's interesting. I want to throw down the fucking anger, you know?
Take that home and sleep on it.
Yes, but I do, like, I want a lap where it's like,
Park the car here and call you cheater.
yeah, we're in there. Yep.
All sessions were stopped and postponed. We are now getting to go out on track. We're about an hour behind schedule. Typical things that will happen in a day like this is if you know the race isn't going to be wet, you'll try to minimize risk. I still think it's good to go out and kind of survey the land, see what the grip and the conditions would be like if a race did come, so you don't have that overwhelming amount of anticipation. It's always a balance of trying to manage that risk to reward. Today we're going to go out. We're just going to verify for grip. We're not really looking to put any lap times in or anything big. More so just get out there and get some awareness. I love driving in the wet, so I'm excited, but I have to say as a driver you're always a little fearful of a condition like that, so I'm going to go out there, be super cautious, and try to bring this car back clean. reds often. Looks like that might have been a motor blowing up or a tire. We don't know. A Supra went by and we just heard a huge pop. Kind of a non-conventional pop too. Almost sounded like plastic blowing out, but they're stopped on the side of the road, so they're gonna, looks like we got about 18 minutes left in this session. We're sitting currently 8th overall. Feeling pretty good. Car had good balance to it. We had more pace in it, just ultimately couldn't put the lap together. We'll go review data and see what the car says it can do. But I had a lot of fun. I was slipping and sliding. I came out of 2 one time, just full opposite lock. A lot of fun. I always enjoy rain sessions. I'm sure Zach's got a big smile on his face too. This is going to be an interesting dilemma here. How the heck does that fit? Right there. The only outlier is the Supra.
I mean, it felt good. I like the map.
What's that?
I like the map. It's just like, instead of 50 toe, and I could like,
What map did you go to? You made 3 work? I think it's going to work for me. 3 was the one for me.
4 was too intrusive. It's like radius. It's like steering angle to throttle.
MDM?
It's very string theory. So like it won't accept it if your input doesn't match your input here. So if you have everything done and everything stringed up.
I'm interested to see this data. So we had different opinions on TC settings. I was running without TC in a little wetter condition. Zach went out and was able to make the TC work for him, which has been an issue for us. We haven't really had the TC be compliant to where it's made us produce competitive pace. So I'm curious to see which guy found something. So that's always the fun part of this, is when one guy finds something and you get to go review and see it, the proof in the pudding on data. Looks like everyone had smiles and a lot of fun. I know I did. Looks like the crew guys are just going over the cars, making sure everything's good. Hot and humid too. It's like wet, but you're like stuck to your suit, sweaty. It's an interesting feeling to be in a onesie stuck to it.
I was definitely leaning on your delta the first couple laps, and like through the back section, your delta like ballooned on me in that last right-hander, the flat out kink.
Yeah.
And I was like, guess that's flat out. I mean, it's just like.
So you'll see in my in-car, every time I'd get there, I would just motor people and they'd be right at the apex. I'm like, I'm pretty sure we don't lift here.
Yeah. Same with 2. Like, that was the deal with 2. Everybody was so slow through 2.
I had to keep lifting at 2, and I did try one. Full throttle commitment.
Oh, hell no.
Full rack.
That'll snap you.
Full rack.
No.
It was like, whoa!
No. But you get this energy load, and it just banana peels on you after a certain load amount. My deal there is like getting early load and getting my eyes battling the A-pillar through the corner. I want to try and roll the left front to the end of that curb. Otherwise I feel the compression of the track out.
Right.
But it's like, you've got to set the right side rubber early and then work it through 2.
Did you find in 3 the wide radius was rushing the short distance?
I did this like super exaggerated like this thing. So I mean I was go-karting it into there. So I was putting it into a push and holding the push, and then when I wanted it to rotate, I'd open.
Yeah.
And that seemed to be working well. I don't know what it did to the fronts.
My first couple, I came in there, I'm all trying to be neat and tidy to 3, and I'm parking it, and I'm like, man, I'm just losing so much on entry right here. And then I'm digging from such a low rolling speed that I'm just getting a massive slide off apex, right?
Yep.
So I'm like, F it, I'm just gonna send one full over the inside curb, right?
Inside curb.
And so I just like go for it, and it pushes right. I just pick up the big lazy push across, and I go across the dry line, and it grabbed the gradient on the outside.
Yep.
And the car just hooked up. I'm like, wow, I didn't even have to like go from push and unwind and like get it to rotate.
Yep.
It just kind of it set really hard, and I was like, wow. And you could see me like testing for grip with the pedal. I'm like pedaling it.
Yep.
And then I just mat it and it takes it. So the next one I just rolled all the way full commitment on it and it took it and I made a half second immediately. The balance of the car is so good. I'm like, I don't want to touch nothing.
Balance good.
Yeah.
Balance
It's so forgiving. You fire it in and it's like, oh, you're going a little too fast. Here's a little push for you.
It's all good.
Yeah. It's not like an abusive push. It's just like, whoa, hey, buddy.
You can just kind of feel it a little bit. It's talking to you.
She's saying, hey, you're going pretty fast.
It's badass.
Yeah.
I think it's awesome.
It's nice because it talks to you just like you said, right? Even though, you know, fast normally means slow. This car doesn't like feel sensationally fast, but when you're out over driving it, it definitely talks, right?
I love it.
It's a better car. BMW killed it with the G. Now that we got some love on the BOP side, we're loving life right now. It's such a different feeling as a driver going in with hope instead of everyone just driving around with you and being like, how am I going to be faster in a straight line today? If you think Clag was bad at Sonoma, bro, wait till you see the Clag on the outside of 7 here.
Wait, what is clog?
Clag is so when the slick tire, basically as it hits the abrasive surface, it scrubs the rubber off and it builds up into what we call marbles, otherwise clag. And that's all the debris from the tire that basically shreds itself off to the sides on the very high speed corners and in brake zones. And basically, if you get on top of it, you'll hear drivers say, I got on the marbles, and that's what it feels like. The car essentially no longer has a contact patch with the ground. It has these little balls of rubber, and so it's skating across those balls of rubber onto the outside of the track. And drivers a lot of the time are just along for the ride at that point. Every once in a while you'll get lucky and there'll be pavement out there and you'll be able to get it back and scrub them off. But it'll always impact the car in handling, and then to get them off the tire, it usually takes a significant amount of time, like 3-4 corners, sometimes laps if the tires have hardened. It can be a obstacle or even just a handicap. One of our competitors was talking about at Sonoma, there's a high-speed corner that has a pretty big penalty on the outside or consequence, and he was just scared that the Clag was going to pull the car off or allow the car to skate to the outside. And here, it's a much more
Super intense.
Yeah, and
Super intense.
it's kind of a decreasing high speed radius corner, so if you catch the marbles while the radius is decreasing, it's almost a guarantee that you're going. It's not a corner you go for a pass on the outside, let's just say that. I'm using that little sealer as a reference for mid-road. I mean, just like Zach did, right around where mid-entry was, and I'm aiming for the second red one. My regular dry apex is the third, so I was aiming just past my regular one, and my intentions were to try to stay away from this, but the car naturally just, as you put power down, starts increasing radius because it just doesn't have enough grip. So that's the difference you saw. Look at how I have to open my hands to stop the slide, where with TC it just catches it immediately. What's up with the car? Lazy. It's like come down one, you get a good threshold. As you turn in, it just kind of picks up this lazy push that you're waiting on, and then you're like, I gotta go. So you roll throttle and it just goes into oversteer. Okay. 2, it's like it takes in the set, you feel the car set, and then it just exceeds the contact patch. Everywhere else has the same symptoms as 1. Still pushing. Lazy push, and good drivers can just free it up with the throttle. Yeah. But an average guy's gonna struggle. They're gonna just be like, it understeers everywhere.
You get like it's talking to you, but you have to use so much steering angle that by the time it's time to feed the throttle, you exceed and it pops you. Like, it's a pretty consistent sensation.
Yeah. I got some good footage of Ken, and it looks like his car characteristically, I'm not sure what we look like, but I feel like they look different the way that their car works. it looks like their car's like set on the back, and it's just the front's rotating where we look raked like this almost. It's weird.
Their car looks way, I mean, at least statically, their car looks way more
Could
great.
it just be softer, and that's why it's doing it under load?
It's possible, but that's what we moved away from with the Tesla.
Right. No, I'm just
Yeah.
curious. His car looks like it's doing something different.
Like soaking.
Yeah.
Yeah, like you could see I crush him to the apex.
Yeah.
And then his car sets, and I'm like feathering the throttle, trying to get it down. You can tell he's just full flat in it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I know they did start on sticker tires, so they definitely had more overall grip.
No, I'm fine. I was just like, this is all I got. It's a lot of work. This is all I got.
Yeah. It was all I had.
so much oppo, man. So much oppo.
Yeah, it was a lot. It was a lot. I tried to run I did run a couple laps off, and I was like, this is f***ing crazy. There's no way.
Yeah, I was full silly man.
I mean, fucking huge props. I trust my car control, but that was like, yeah, I couldn't use much with it. Felt yourself swimming in the front, and then you would know it, so you'd be super tentative on the throttle, and then it'd come around on you, like it just, and whatever scrub was on the front would be sent to the rear.
Got you 87 and a half.
94.
Do you weigh in every race?
For SRO, yeah, we have to race it. We have to weigh in every race. And then IMSA, we just do a helmet inspection.
We were on, like,
Yeah.
seriously.
I was working.
I get a 46.8 and I was working. I was like, sorry. That's what it is.
All straight. Just park, straight, park, straight.
What class? What's your car number? Alright.
51. Zach Anderson.
I'll let you write in your name. Dutch Anthony. Alright, just write your name and sign.
Ryan, are you guys doing an alignment?
Yes. Always.
Oh, after every race, huh? Or after every drive?
Every session. Do a set down, check the alignments, make sure they're all good, ready to go for the next session.
So that you want to eliminate this. You're coasting in, and then you're going to this little bit of brake pressure early, and then you're doing, you know that you're early, so you're not adding enough a big pressure. You're just kind of resting your foot on it, and then as you straighten up into that right after the apex, it looks like you add the pressure right where I do. 'Cause I go right as I come off the curb.
That pressure looks like me resting my foot. It's crazy. I'm covering it, right? Which is weird.
But that's definitely hurting your entry speed.
I've been coasting for a while there, right?
Yeah. But any of this stuff, right, this and that hurts entry. We're down on entry. Pressures look good. It's just this little early one. To try
Plus,
to get.
plus I've been coasting for the sun.
Right.
All right, John. Your favorite part. Your favorite part.
Would you like a double or a single?
I'll take a triple.
My favorite part of the day?
Yep.
Just going ham on old tires, getting super sideways. That was a super rewarding session.
Close us out.
Not only pace-wise, but just felt amazing. And the whole energy of the camp this race is better because we actually feel like we have a chance, whereas every session we came out of pre-Sonoma, we felt like, man, this is going to be a really steep climb. Feeling good. Enjoying my time out here in Nola. Really happy to be on this team. really thankful for all these guys. I mean, look at the level of prep. Cars are already done for the night. And I'm gonna go out and have some dinner, but before that, we're gonna go do a track walk, check out some corners. A couple things we're checking is some pavement imperfections and some curvings, and you know, look at some brake zones, see if we can't find anything in the texture. So last session we went out on scrubs. For those that don't know, scrubs would be an older set of tires that we used in a previous session. Typically we'll see scrubs lose about anywhere from 1.5 to 3 seconds on the extreme. Most of the time we're more in that 1.5 window. But we went out on scrubs and we were running right there with the pace of other teams that were out on stickers, and that feels really good. That shows we have a chance. Lot of cars are still not being shown. We could be ahead of ourselves and these other cars could go faster, but right now we're feeling good. That was a wrap for us. Got our track walk, we got kicked off, so we didn't really get to do a whole lot there, but we did get to turn 4. Time to go get some dinner, hang out, relax, watch some data, regroup for tomorrow. I think that's all we got for today.